From Westville Babe Ruth Field, Channel 5 Store Communications presents high school baseball. Today, an opening round Parochial B playoff game between the Rams of Gloucester Catholic and the Bruins of St. Pius X High School. Hi again, everybody. Mike Lindner with Bob Shryock here on a gorgeous afternoon at the Westville Babe Ruth Field, where the Rams of Gloucester Catholic, Bob, will begin their quest to defend successfully their Parochial B state championship of a year ago and also, of course, of 2 seasons ago. They will also be trying to duplicate the feat of the girls softball team at Gloucester Catholic, who won the South Jersey championship yesterday. And this, the Pius X Bruins, the team they started against last season in what was a rout, 22-2. However, the Bruins come in with a offensive-minded ball club today.
They're 13-12, Mike, which does not sound impressive, but boy, they have some people who've driven in some runs this season. They have 4 players with more than an RBI or more per game. 4 different players between 24 and 32 RBIs in a season. They're averaging 8 runs a game. Obviously, they've had some pitching difficulties and also some defensive problems this season, but no difficulty scoring runs.
And the Rams of Gloucester Catholic coming in at 17-6 with a second-place finish in the tough Olympic Conference National Division.
A very young Gloucester Catholic team. A lot of people wondered if they'd have a decent season this year, but of course the tradition of Gloucester Catholic apparently helping again. They've scored a lot of runs this season too. They've overcome some defensive lapses, averaging about a half dozen errors a game. Despite that, with a great record. Of course, some fine veterans on this team, led by Bob Ravel, who leads off the ball game.
And of course, even though we're here at Westville, this being tournament time, they flipped for home team, and Pius X won the toss. They will start in the field.
Umpire today, Alex DePutron on the base paths. George Good, balls and strikes. Bill Kane, the pitcher for the Bruins. Dave Irizarry, the catcher, and lined in the left field for a base hit off the bat of Ravel. And Mike, he's got himself a few base hits in his career.
Well, he's up over 110 at this point, and that, of course, is a new record here at Gloucester Catholic, breaking the record held by Dennis Barth of the famous Barth family. Played 4 years for the Rams and finished his career with 104. And Ravel, 2 or 3 games ago, broke that record and is continuing to add to it. A 4-year starter, Bobby Ravel at first base.
Pius X, the home team today. They flipped a coin to determine that. Joe Falcone, the batter. Kane from a stretch the first time, fouled off to the right side and out of play by Joe Falcone. So Ravel, a leadoff base runner, top half of the first inning in this first round, the Parochial B Championship Tournament.
Joe Falcone, one of the players at Gloucester Catholic out of Deptford Township, and this is his 3rd season starting varsity, so he's had the experience of 2 state championships and wants to get that 3rd one. Another one of those players getting out of Deptford Township. I wonder how much longer that'll go on with that fine record they have there this season.
What a great season Bob Burrows and his Spartans have had. We've seen 2 of those victories on Channel 5.
A couple of great games between the Rams and the Spartans. Gloucester Catholic winning both of them, but just.
Falcone lays off a high pitch. 1-1 count to Falcone, the second batter of the ball game, facing the right-handed deliveries of Bill Kane, his battery mate, Irizarry. Pius X, there's 13 victories against 12 losses this season. Ravel, pretty good lead at first base, inching out. Likes to run. Not going. Hit to the left side. Good stop by third baseman Adams. They get the force at second. Whalen unable to turn it, but a nice play by Adams on a high hopper. He gets the force of Ravel at second base. On the fielder's choice, Falcone safe at first. Kyle McKinney, catcher for the Rams, and he's had an outstanding season for Gloucester Catholic, one of the veterans on this team. You've been watching him for a few years, Mike.
Had been one of those quiet players the last couple of seasons, but always was able to be put almost anywhere in the lineup for Al Rodano and come through. And this year he's emerged as one of the best catchers in South Jersey.
It's a strike to McKinney.
McKinney, an all-conference player, all-Olympic Conference National Division, hitting .437 coming in today. 31 for 72, 31 hits for Kyle.
Kane, very deliberate worker, goes to first baseman Adam to keep Falcone close.
Kane's been struggling all year. A junior coming in with a sub 500 record.
Falcone running. Pitch inside. Irizarry with a high throw. The shortstop Sanchez goes back to catch it, but an easy stolen base for Falcone, who had a big jump.
He would have had that base in any event, but surely does not bode well for the Bruins to see that throw from Irizarry down there. Did not look like he had anything at all, so unless he lost that baseball attempting to throw, you're going to see the Rams running at every opportunity.
Falcone in scoring position for McKinney with 1 out, 1-1 count to Kyle. Hit the right field and hit pretty well. Marsden going back, catches it, tagging on the play is Falcone. He's going to try to go to third, and he'll get there. The cutoff man missed. Ball hit well by McKinney, but Marsden, the right fielder, catches it with no difficulty. Falcone on third with 2 out. And the batter will be John Cupsey, the outstanding Rams sophomore. He had a great freshman season and a good one again as a sophomore, Mike, and you have to wonder what kind of a player this young man's going to be 2 years from now.
Well, I'll tell you, if you did not know Cupsey's class affiliation, if no one told you that he was a freshman last year, a sophomore this year, you watch him play, you'd figure he may be taking some postgraduate courses, because he surely has handled all the pressure and handled it well, and did an outstanding job for the Rams. One of the very few players to ever come in here and start as a freshman. Ravel, of course, did that. Dennis Barth, that we mentioned, did that. Now Cupsey. You got to believe that barring injury, he's going to break Ravel's record a couple of years from now. He's got to be up over 70 hits now in his career, still finishing his sophomore year, coming in 373 today and 5 home runs on the season.
1-0 to Cupsey with Falcone on third base. 2 down in the first inning. To the left side. Just foul. Fielded by Adams. He dropped the ball, but it's foul. And a 1-1 count to Cupsey. You have to wonder, that great Paulsboro team, Mike, that we hope to see in the tournament any day now. You have to wonder what kind of a team they'd have if John Cupsey had stayed home.
Well, you know, they're all from that Little League and Senior Little League team that did so well in state and regional competition the last few years, and Cupsey was one of the absolute leaders of that club.
Pop-up foul behind us. So Kane ahead of Cupsey 1-2. Kane does not appear to be throwing hard at all. A lot of off-speed pitches.
Cupsey, the sophomore from Gibbstown.
1-2 pitch to Cupsey.
Oh.
Swing and a miss, bad swing. Ball dropped by Irizarry, but he guns it to first baseman Adam for the third out. So Kane gets through the first inning without any difficulty. Middle of the first inning, it's Gloucester Catholic 0, and Pius the 10th coming to bat. Oh, big thrill, Mike, for you yesterday. You've seen a lot of championship teams at Gloucester Catholic since your offspring started going there. How about that Gloucester Catholic girls softball team yesterday?
Well, I'll tell you, it has been a great ride for any parent to have an opportunity, first with the son who came along and won 3 South Jersey championships in a row, and then 2 state championships in a row. Now with my daughter Stephanie playing on the Gloucester County Catholic Rams softball team. They came out of nowhere, Bob, to finish yesterday with the South Jersey championship. A real thrill. We'll take a look now at the defense for Gloucester Catholic, starting at first base, number 20, Mike Secchia. Alongside of him at second will be Jim Mendel, and the veteran at shortstop, Bob Ravel. At third base today, sophomore John Cupsey. In the outfield for the Rams, starting in left, Dave Haynes. In center field, George Kaufman. And starting in right, Joe Falcone. Behind the plate for Gloucester Catholic, Kyle McKinney. And on the mound with a record of 4-2 coming into today's game, Paul Allenby. Allenby, Bob, with a 4-2 record, another one of those residents of Deptford Township. Had a great year last summer in the Garden State Conference, pitching for the Deptford entry.
Looking forward to doing some Garden State League games this summer on Channel 5, Mike. It's always one of the highlights of our summer season on Channel 5. That league getting underway.
Bruce Connell's team at Woodbury expect to be strong again. Al Rodano here, the head coach of Gloucester Catholic, helping out in the Garden State Conference this year, Bob. They've got a combined Audubon and Gloucester entry, and he's going to be one of the coaches of that team. That's a new team in the league.
It's a good league, just getting better every year. New teams, better competition. Outstanding league. I guess you won't be making all the Brookline travels this summer, will you?
Not this year, first time in 3 seasons. I'm sure I'll see a lot of those games. That gets in your blood if you're ever a member of the Brooklawn Legion family. Tough to get away from that program. Of course, looking forward to a couple of years starting the trek all over again. Hopefully another member of the family will develop strongly enough to play on that team.
Awfully long time between innings here, isn't it? Is there a delay for some reason that I'm missing?
Well, both umpires are just standing in position, not talking to any of the players or coaches. Doesn't seem to be a problem.
So we're ready to get going in the bottom half of the first inning. Mike Adam, Mike Whalen, and Chris Casal, the first 3 hitters to face the southpaw slants of Paul Allenby. That has to be a boost for the visiting Bruins, Mike, to set down the Rams in the top of the first inning, particularly after giving up 22 runs in their meeting last year.
Well, they invited the Rams, so to speak, up to Piscataway to play last season. That might have been a mistake. A lot of people from Gloucester Catholic thought that when they arrived and saw how short the fences were. Home runs were flying out all over the place. John Cupsey had a couple of grand slams in that ballgame.
It's strike 1 to Mike Adam, leading off for the Bruins.
Get 2 hits, account for 8 runs. That sure helps you.
Ball and a strike to Mike Adam. No score, bottom half of the first inning.
Allenby 4-2, Bob, but maybe the classic game he tossed this year was a victory over Bishop Eustace, in which he gave up but a couple of hits. Boy, he was outstanding with his control that day, moving the ball all over the place, had the breaking ball working, and made his fastball very effective.
2-1 to Adam. Just a perfect day for baseball. The wind blowing out towards left field should favor the hitters. Adam goes for a high pitch, grounds it to Mendel. To Secchia for the out on Adam. 1 down.
Second base last couple of seasons has been a question mark for Al Rodano and the Rams. Last year really didn't know exactly who to get in there. They had some trouble at that position. Finally firmed it up when they went to a hardly ever used senior, Mike Kenny. Mike Kenny came through. It was a youngster, had been in the program for 4 years. And didn't get much of a shot, and then the last 10 games of the season got out there and played nearly errorless baseball to really help them in their drive to the championship. This year, they've been alternating a number of players out there, and Mendel, who's the hope of the future for Al Rodano in the infield, along with Cupsey at third, getting the start here today.
Grounded foul at the plate, 0-2 count to Mike Whalen. Whalen having a good season, batting .375 with 18 runs batted in coming in, but those 18 RBI only 5th best on the team. The leadoff hitter, Mike, with 32 RBIs. Whalen does lead the team in base hits with 30.
Now you tell me when you find a leadoff man leading in RBIs.
Well, I can't believe that he's been hitting there all season.
No, he couldn't have been.
Unless the bottom part of their order gets on base an awful lot. It's low. 1-2 count to Mike Whalen. 1 out in the Bruin first inning, no score. Breaking ball pops straight up in the air, right back towards us. And out of play. Ooh, just missed one of the fans who had no idea where the ball was. Young lady sitting to our left.
She did not have a clue.
Count holds it 1-2 to second baseman Mike Whalen. Good day to work on our suntans. Swing and a miss. Whalen strikes out. First strikeout for Allenby, second out of the inning. Good fastball by the left-hander.
Al Rodano, of course, an old pitcher himself when he played at Gloucester Catholic as a high school student. Likes to work with the young pitchers and teach them the different movements on the baseball. Loves to throw that fastball with motion. And it seems every year, Bob, he comes up with a pitcher out of the blue. Allenby doing an excellent job this year. Pitched only a couple of innings of varsity baseball last season.
Ball and no strikes to Chris Casal. Hit the left field, sinking quickly, and falls in front of left fielder Haynes for a base hit. Drops the ball, but Casal not advancing any farther. So the first hit of the game for the Bruins, an opposite field base hit by Casal. Casal hitting .373 coming in. He has 30 runs batted in. Some impressive figures for a team that's barely at the 500 level. Scott Adams, the batter. So we have an Adam and an Adams on the team. Scott has 32 runs batted in and a .387 batting mark. So Allenby pitching from the stretch for the first time. Not much of a lead by Casal, way high. Each team with a base hit in the first inning. Ravel leading it off for the Rams with a single to left. And now Casal with 2 outs.
Tony DiPaolo, the head coach of the Bruins, going to take a chance to talk to Scott Adams. Here's a gentleman that's been around baseball a long time, Bob. You might remember from a couple of years ago when we televised him, we found about his past at St. Mary's of Perth Amboy, a school that was closed, and he moved over to Pius X when it opened a few seasons back. Outstanding baseball man. 112 and 63 coming in today during his tenure at Pius X.
To strike. Fastball across there by Allenby. 1-1 to Scott Adams. Casal with a bit bigger lead this time. Allenby, he's got him picked off. First baseman Secchia. They got him caught in a rundown play. And finally tagged out by Allenby, who gets in the rundown. How does that one score?
1-3 to 6-1.
Okay, so that'll do it for the Bruins in the first inning. End of 1. First round of the Parochial B tournament. Gloucester Catholic nothing. Pius X nothing. We'll be back.
No scores. We start second inning action here at Westville today in this Parochial B quarterfinal playoff game. Taking a look at the defense for Pius X, starting at first base, Mike Adam. Alongside of him, second baseman Mike Whalen. And the shortstop today, Pedro Sanchez. Starting at third base, Scott Adams. In left field, Sean Ty. The center fielder today, Chris Casal. And in right, John Marsden. Starting behind home plate, Dave Irizarry. And the pitcher who survived the first inning, Bill Keene. Mike Lindner along with Bob Shryock here at Westville.
George Kaufman, the leadoff hitter for the Rams in the second inning.
George, a real speedster, has had an outstanding career for the Rams, starting varsity for his third year.
Breaking ball for a strike. Kaufman didn't think so.
George, one of those players, Bob, that plays here in the spring for Gloucester Catholic and then moves over in the summer for Brooklawn Legion. He'll be playing for his third year there this season.
Breaking ball outside corner, so Kane ahead of Kaufman, 0-2. His breaking ball finding the corners here in the early part of the ball game. Breaking ball hit down to third baseman Adams. Good stretch by Adam. That's Adams to Adam for the out on Kaufman. 1 out in the Rams' second. Kane's slow stuff seems to have the Rams a little bit off stride, Mike.
Yeah, you see that first time through the lineup, he may handle him, but expect to see an explosion second time through.
Mike Secchia, the batter. Timeout called by the umpire, George Good. Old friend Alex DePutron, the base umpire, Mike, his daughter, the fine basketball player at West Effort High School of a couple years ago. Ball one to Secchia.
One of many we've seen. Saw Jill Rooney the other day getting her car washed. Tell you, how many years it's been since Jill played, finishing up a great career at St. Joe's this year.
2-0. It's hard to believe that she is that far advanced in college. She was an outstanding player at West Effort. Ball three to Secchia.
Secchia transfer over last season from Washington Township and has done a good job for the Rams. Sometimes pitcher, handling first base this year. Able to play at third.
Strike one to Secchia. I gave him a little curveball on 3-0.
Well, that's been his best pitch so far today.
Another one. Beaten foul, full count. So Kane is throwing a steady diet of breaking balls and getting the pitch over. His fastball has very little zip on it, so he'll stick with that breaking ball as long as he's effective with it. Full count to Secchia. Top half of inning number 2. Another breaking ball pops straight up in the air. Might be a play for catcher Irizarry, and he takes it just in front of the screen. Good play and an excellent job by Bill Kane, who fell behind Secchia 3-0 and then came back to get him.
I think that's another illustration of the slow pitching that Kane is showing us here, and timing just not there for the Rams so far at all. Secchia was way out in front of that one, popped it up. Another Washington Township product coming to the box now, Bob.
Dave Haynes, left fielder. 2 outs. At the shortstop, tough play for Sanchez. Nice scoop. Didn't get much on the throw, but a good stretch by Adam, and they retire Haynes. So a fine 1-2-3 inning recorded by Bill Kane, middle of the second. It's still 0-0. Does not look so far, Mike. I have not seen the Rams this season. I know they scored a lot of runs, but does not look like as potent an offensive team as I have seen in previous years.
This be the 5th season now that I've been watching them, 5th year in a row, and this is probably the lineup which is most limited in terms of power, the ability to put the ball out of the ballpark. Ravel has it. John Cupsey has it. McKinney occasionally will put one out. But I'll tell you what, a player on the bench might be the player with the most power for the Rams, Rob Hadalowski from Deptford Township. Bob, how's this for a story? A sophomore, saw hardly any action all year. And then last week, got a chance to begin playing as a DH in his first 11 at-bats. Hit 5 home runs and a single.
Good heavens, why isn't he playing today?
Well, they don't want him to get too confident, I guess. Can you imagine that? It seems to me, a lesson you gave me early in the year, that puts him just about a slugging percentage of 2,000. Would that be right? 11 at-bats and 20.
Well, 5 home runs alone is worth 20.
Yeah,
so
21 bases, just under 2,000 slugging percentage. That would not be bad.
That might leg the league.
Yeah, I suggested that he retire. And I saw 4 of those home runs, Bob, and they were shots. And he has also won a game pitching and has saved a couple.
Scott Adams leads it off for the Bruins in the second. He was at bat in the first inning when Chris Casal was picked off first base. Inside, ball 1 to Adams. Adams with some power. He leads the team with 4 home runs. No contact. 1-1 to Adams. 22-2 the score between these teams last year. We don't have a run so far, bottom half of the second inning. Get to the right side, tough play here, late cover, and he beats it. There was a late cover there, a little bit of confusion. Secchia had to go way to his right. Pitcher Allenby looked like he was late covering, and second baseman Mendel could not get there in time. Infield base hit for Adams.
Allenby recognizes the mistake, no question, as he glanced up in the air and said, what in the world was I thinking? I did not break at all. Came with the follow through towards the third base side, but as soon as he sees that ball hit to the right side in any way, he's got to break. There he is. He sees hanging to the third base side. Now he just takes and looks for an instant or two, and that's enough time to make the confusion. Mendel, it looks to me like he has him on the replay, but Duputron did not think so.
Allenby goes to Secchia to keep Adams close. Allenby has already picked off one base runner. Dave Irizarry has had a fine season, also hitting .373, and he has 31 ribbies. Hit to center field, not too deep. Should be an easy play for George Kaufman. Camps under it. That's one out. Adams retreats to first base.
Winner of this game, Bob, to advance. Play the winner of another Gloucester County area team. St. James, who's playing against the Atlantic County Power St. Joe's of Hamilton. Winner of this game, winner of that game, the matchup in a semifinal.
Big lead by Adams, and he almost leaned too far and almost was picked off again by Allenby. You could see him frozen momentarily by the Allenby pickoff move. Sean Ty, the batter. Ty, the leading hitter for the Bruins, .426 batting average. He's only been up 47 times, not as many as many of his teammates. Popped up, easy play for somebody. Let's see who calls. Mendel, the second baseman.
Secchia comes over.
Secchia finally makes the play. All four infielders had a shot at that one. Secchia takes it for the second out.
Let's take a look again at that play at first base. Now this is the pickoff. And go either way from this position. Duputron now. We want to back off on him. That's two calls that we question.
John Maroon, the batter. John, the right fielder for the Bruins, hitting .316 with 24 runs batted in. Allenby has pretty good pickoff move. And those Pius, the 10th players, are going to have to watch their leads against the left-hander. 1 on, 2 out. Bottom half of the second. Ball gets past McKinney, and going to second base will be Adams. That'll be a pass ball on Kinney. And puts Adams in scoring position with 2 down. Unlike many of the fields where we televise, the distance from home plate to the backstop at this Westville field is a long way.
Yeah, this is a great place for a catcher to develop. And playing here, I think Bob contributed to a championship, a state championship of a couple of seasons ago for Gloucester Catholic, a game you televised along with Tony Powers. You might remember Bobby Zimmerman, the catcher that year, coming back over at Camden County College and nearly climbing the backstop in order to make a catch of a pop foul in a very, very crucial moment against St. Joe's of Hamilton, allowed them to come back in extra innings and win that ball.
That was quite a ball game. I do remember that one.
It was a super play.
Allenby takes too much time. Maroon steps out, now back in again. Good fastball by Allenby. Snap throw by McKinney, and he makes it a fairly close play. Adams getting back. 2 strikes to Maroon.
McKinney with that great arm. Remember at Deptford, the player with the 27 straight, gunned out twice in one ball game by McKinney for the first 2 times all season.
Curtis.
Yep.
Breaking ball hit to the right side. Mendel to his right. Stops and guns it to Secchia for the out of Maroon. Good play by second baseman Mendel. That'll do it for the Bruins in the second inning. We have a pitcher's duel going from Westville. No score. The Bruins and the Rams. Mike Lindner and Bob Shryock at Westville. Third inning baseball in the Parochial B Championship first round. Good ball game. And Jim Mendel leads it off for the Rams against Bill Keene, who has pitched well, facing a team that burned the Bruins for 22 runs last season. Ball 1 to Mendel. Only 1 hit for the Rams so far. Bob Ravel's leadoff single. He hit it hard to left field, but since then Keene has been in control. Breaking ball beautifully for a strike.
Boy, if you could put the ball there every time, you'd be an outstanding pitcher with a great record. Right on the bottom of the strike zone, outside corner.
2-1. Keene has thrown about 75% breaking balls so far.
You don't have enough for everybody. Shouldn't
2-1. Hit into right field. Easy play for Marsden. And he takes it for out number 1. Second put out for Marsden in right field. And since the leadoff single by Ravel, the Rams have been very quiet offensively.
Well, we should get an opportunity here to see just how slowly Keene is pitching the ball as Tom DiTullio comes to the plate. DiTullio is DHing in place of the announced DHer Steve Doyle, who apparently Al Rodana made a change. Tom DiTullio. Because DiTullio in his entire career, I was about to say it, has never hit a ball to that side of the infield or outfield.
Sanchez to Adam for the easy out on DiTullio. That's 2 down, and Keene really in control. He has now set down 8 consecutive Rams. Batter Bob Ravel, who has the only base hit.
As a young man, can't wait for the next 4 years, Bob. Already awarded a full scholarship, baseball scholarship, to the University of Virginia.
Where he will be reunited with
any number of people.
Former teammates both at Gloucester Catholic and Brookline, right?
That is correct.
Including your son, Michael.
That is right.
How is Michael's knee?
Well, just saw him arrive here at the ballpark today. Started a rehabilitation program today.
To Hopper, to Adams. To Adam for the Adam Ravel, and Bill Keene is totally in control of the Rams at this point. Has everybody nibbling on his breaking stuff, and he's getting it over consistently, getting ahead of the hitters, doing a fine job. Middle of the 3rd inning. Still no score. The Rams and the Bruins. Are you surprised, Mike, at this point, the way Keene is handling the Ram lineup?
Well, I think that they're very, very surprised at seeing this slow stuff, the assortment of junk, and as a result, as I mentioned, their timing not there. I anticipate there will be an explosion, as I mentioned, an inning or so again as they come through this lineup the second time. Of course, we've already mentioned they are not as powerful a ball club as in the past. One of the reasons for that, obviously, the absence of a great player by the name of Will Vespi. All he's doing, starting this Friday, Bob, is participating in his freshman year as a participant on one of the 8 teams that have made it to the College World Series. Will, an all-South Jersey player the last couple of seasons, a Philadelphia Inquirer Player of the Year in the Delaware Valley last season, starting at the University of Miami as a freshman. And he could hit a baseball and still can.
ESPN is covering that series, correct?
Yes, every ball game, a chance for Story Communication subscribers to see every game in a College World Series, starting Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock.
I understand the Vespi family is moving to Florida.
That's the word we get. I understand that Brad Vespi, who's finishing this year as a graduate here at Gloucester Catholic, an outstanding football player and wrestler, has enrolled at the University of Miami, where he will join Will. Family might as well move, Bob. I've been calling them I don't know how many times this spring, and every message I get is, we're in Miami. You might know Basil, Will's father, of course. I called him one night and could only talk to him every so many minutes because you could hear through the earpiece the Miami baseball game. He has his son wired up a radio to a telephone down there, and every home game that they cannot make is sent back by telephone, and they listen to the ball games.
Strike in the outside corner, Paul Allenby to Pedro Sanchez, the lanky Bruin shortstop. Only 2 hits by the Bruins, but they've out-hit the Rams 2-1. Ball and a strike to Sanchez.
Neither one of these pitchers is going to break too many panes of glass the way they're throwing.
Fouled straight back, Allenby with a 1-2 count on Sanchez. Casal and Adams with the base hits for Pius X. Bob Ravel for the Rams.
Allenby trying to duplicate the feat of Joe Scanlon, a senior last year who led the Rams towards that championship, who Won 9 ball games for them after having hardly ever pitched as a sophomore and junior.
Feeble swing by Sanchez. Ball dropped by McKinney. The old 2-3 putouts. Strikeout for Allenby. And that's 1 out in the Bruin third inning. Sanchez totally fooled. 2 strikeouts for Allenby. And about a Ron Weller, who DHs for pitcher Bill Keene. Weller has only been at bat 15 times this season, hitting .267, 4 base hits, takes ball 1.
Just a sophomore.
Strike inside corner. 1-1 to Weller. Both pitchers, the key so far has been getting ahead of the hitters. Neither one has walked a batter. Fouled straight back, 1-2. About those Phillies, Mike, they have a winning streak going as we televise this, 1 in a row.
Mm-hmm. Mike Schmidt winning a ball game last night with a home run. He's having a pretty good beginning part of the season.
Yeah, well, nobody else is hitting except Vaughn Hayes.
They'll probably trade him. There's been rumors of that, you know. Hayes, the famous 5-for-1. And the trade he came to Philadelphia from Cleveland, the rumor is that he is being marketed around for a first-line pitcher.
Maybe they can trade him and get 5 back. 2-2 to Weller. Full count. I think this is the first full count in the ball game.
It's got to be the trivia question, doesn't it? Who were the 5 players traded for Vaughn Hayes, and where are they now?
Have to think about that one. I'm sure you know the answer. Full count pitch. Just as I say nobody has walked, guess who walks? Ron Weller. They have some tall players on this Bruin team. They're all tall and lanky.
They expected pretty good things this year from the basketball and baseball team. They were a real good sophomore junior classes last year. Have not had the record they anticipated.
Mike Adam trying to bunt. And bunts right through it. 0-1 to Adam, who grounded out to second baseman Mendel in the first inning. 1 out with Weller on first base. No score. Bottom half of the third inning. I thought we'd see a lot of runs today. Way high by Allenby. 1-1. Two and 1. On the coin flip, Pius the 10th, the home team today, although we're playing at the Gloucester Catholic Field. Beautifully conditioned Westville Babe Ruth Field. We've done a lot of games here through the years. Good fastball by Allenby. No contact by Adam, and it's 2-2.
The grooming of this field done primarily by John Cupsey Sr., father of the third baseman of the Rams, who in fact was out here all day today mowing the lawn. Somebody's got to find that man a job.
Oh, they have him picked off. Oh, boy. They had him picked off by 3 steps. He had a big lead over there, Mike, and Allenby absolutely froze him. That is the second base runner he's picked off, so bad base running by the Bruins have hurt them in 2 situations.
Well, generally you won't take the extra step off the left-handers. They've been doing that. Allenby coming up and freezing the motion with that right knee.
Foul back out of play. He has an excellent move, though, Mike. There are very few high school, and we'll see this in replay, a few high school pitchers have a move
there
like
he freezes right there. That's the position he stays at, and then he comes. He doesn't freeze, of course, that much. That's us, but that's right where you want to be able to get them to take the look, and he's done it. Finishes up in grand style here with the strikeout.
Third strikeout for Allenby as the Bruins go down in the third inning. 3 well-played innings from Westville. It's no score, the Rams and the Bruins. We'll be back. Bob Shryock with Mike Lindner, and this one hit well to center field by Falcone, racing back. Casal can't get it up against the fence. Falcone is going to have a stand-up double to center field. Mike Lindner with us, but this is Mike Lindner Jr. Mike, nice to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
The pitcher for Pius the 10th has been in control. I don't know how much of the game you've seen, but his slow breaking stuff has really had the Rams off stride, Mike, but Falcone really laid on that pitch.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I walked up and I asked around, heard the score was nothing after 3. I was expecting a more high-scoring game.
And particularly after you guys scored 22 runs in this team last year, right?
That's what I heard. I was wondering what they had this year they haven't had in the last couple of years.
Kenny beats it foul at the plate. Kenny flied to right field. I understand you just came from the doctors. What you say about your knee?
Yeah, they said it'll be a couple more weeks before I can start hitting and fielding again, but I just been lifting, getting strength back in it, making it strong again.
You're not going to try to play this summer, or are you?
Possibly going to play for Winona on Tri-County team in about a month or so, if I can get it strong again. But I'm not going to risk hurting it again in the summer. I'm going to probably wait till the fall.
Ball on a strike to McKinney with Falcone on second base. Nobody out in the Ram fourth inning. Rams trying to unlock a scoreless tie. Breaking ball beaten foul. He has pretty good breaking pitch. Must have been tough for you, Mike, after a good fall at UVA to not be able to play this spring.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating having to go out there every day and just see a couple kids play where I knew I would have been in there, and knowing that I could help contribute to our team and not being able to help out.
Hit the center field. This one hit well, too. Casal going back. He'll catch this one. Tagging is Falcone. They might have a shot at him. High relay throw, backed up by pitcher Kane. A better relay throw by Sanchez, Mike, and I believe they could have had Falcone.
Yeah, it looks like Falcone got a bad read off of second base. He was looking to third base coach Rich Aran for that instead of looking over the shoulder and getting his own jump on the ball and got a late start.
Cleanup hitter John Cupsey, the fine sophomore who did not look good striking out in the first inning, but a big chance for him here, and it looks like Pius the 10th will bring its infield in a step. Sanchez at short and Whalen at second base. I'll try to cut down this run in a pitcher's duel. Keene working from the stretch and delivers strike one. He has been getting that breaking pitch over consistently on the first pitch. 1-1, snap throw by the catcher, close play. Pretty good throw by Irizarry, who has not shown that good an arm, but fairly close. Cupsey's going to be quite a ball player, Mike, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential. He seems to be like he's a little struggling this year. Get his confidence. He's expected a little bit better of him this year, but
there's a base hit. Base hit into right center field. That'll score Falcone with the run. Casal fields the ball, and John Cupsey with an RBI single to center plates the first run of the ball game. The Rams lead it 1-0. He went with that pitch beautifully.
Seems like they're starting to get the timing a little bit better down on the pitcher now.
And that's what your dad anticipated second time through the lineup, that they'd jump on this guy a little bit. He really is throwing quite a bit of junk, but very effectively getting ahead of the hitters. And we'll see a replay now, Mike, of this base hit if you can see it. Good swing.
He went with that pitch nicely.
So we expected a lot of runs today. That's the first one we have. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Ram lead, and the batter George Kaufman, who grounded out his first time up. Will Cupsey steal a base? He's going to try. Hit and run to right field. Easy play for Marsden. Cupsey is going to have to come back on the play. So Kaufman flies to right field. I'm a little surprised, Mike, that they did not let Cupsey try a straight steal. I don't know whether you've seen Irizarry throw, but that he's not throw particularly well. Easy stolen base for Falcone in the first inning.
It might have been a straight steal there, Bob. Looks like Rich Rand's a little upset with George for swinging through on that. It's a normal strategy. Let the first pitch go and give the base runner opportunity to steal that base.
You should let him go now, shouldn't he, with 2 outs?
You got to get him in a scoring position. Be a good idea.
Let's see if they pitch out. Keene thinks that Cupsey's going. 2 outs, Cupsey at first. A run in. Mike Secchia, the batter. Mike popped up to the catcher his first time at bat. Cupsey with a pretty good lead. He's going. Taking all the way this time. High throw by Irizarry doesn't get much on it, and Cupsey has himself an easy stolen base and is in scoring position for Secchia with 2 out.
I see what you mean, Bob, about the weak arm of the catcher. I expect if the Rams keep getting on base that they'll be stealing second a lot.
Chance for Secchia to get the Rams an additional run. Just missing outside. How did your first year go, Mike, other than the knee problems? Academically, I know you did well. You like the school?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It says a lot for school if you can enjoy it while not even playing the sport that you went there for. And it's one of the reasons I chose school to begin with, that if anything ever happened injury-wise or if baseball didn't turn out as well, that I would still get everything I wanted out of college, and it's been really good so far.
No thought at all of redshirting with your injury this year?
No, we played a fall schedule.
Well, that's right. You can't redshirt
over
if you
20
play the fall,
games.
Yeah. 1-2 to Secchia. Cupsey running. Irizarry with a wide throw, and Cupsey has himself a steal of third base. That's a pretty smart play, Mike, considering what your dad and I talked earlier about the distance here between home plate and the backstop. Some fields that steal of third would be kind of an academic point, but now if the ball gets past the catcher, the Rams can get another run.
Yeah, I've seen many runs scored here on pass balls, and that's an excellent strategy move.
It's outside. Another snap throw. I tell you, this is going to be close. DePutron says that Cupsey is safe. Ball dropped by third baseman Adams. Irizarry not afraid to throw the baseball. Secchia walks. That is the first walk given up by Kane today. Now, interesting situation here, Mike, we've already determined that Irizarry does not have a great arm. Secchia, however, is not the speed burner on this team. Would you risk a steal in this situation?
It's tough to say. I'd probably send him, although I'm not the coach.
You get the second guess when you're sitting here. Your dad does all the time. Dave Haynes. Secchia is running, low throw, swung on and missed, but no throw by Irizarry. Secchia will have a stand-up stolen base. So they're really starting to run on Irizarry now. That is 3 stolen bases in the inning, but the Rams still only have 1 run in with 2 outs, and a big chance for Dave Haynes with 2 runners in scoring position. Haynes swung at a bad pitch and missed it by a foot. Pivotal batter in the ball game right here. Hit sharply, base hit. That'll score Cupsey. Secchia rounding third base. He'll try to score, and he'll get in there. Ball gets past the catcher as Haynes thinks about going to third base, but goes back. Big base hit by Dave Haynes to right field, scores Cupsey and Secchia. That stolen base by Secchia sets up the 3rd run, and it's a 3-0 lead. Good job of hitting there by Haynes, Mike, after he looked bad on that first pitch.
Yeah, it looks like every Rams batters here is going with that pitch now to right field. Every hit's been to the straight away or to right field. Looks like they're getting on that curveball.
And we'll see a replay now. Let's look at the Haynes' swing on this, if you can see it. Good job of going with the pitch there, too. Ball bobbled momentarily by Casal, but Secchia was running all the way. It's a strike to Jim Mendel.
That was a big hit by right there to score 2 runs. If St. Pius could have got out of this inning 1-0 and got a little further into the game, you never know what might happen. It seems to me they're probably a little shaky coming in here to play us, and any confidence they could get in the end of the game, you never know what might happen.
0-2 count to Mendel, who flied to right field his first time up. 3 runs in for the Rams. Haynes running. Irizarry. Another stolen base, and boy, they're really running on Irizarry now. Irizarry kind of double clutched on that throw, couldn't quite get the ball out of his glove, and it cost him. Same situation now. If a ball gets past the catcher, the Rams could pick up a 4th run. So it's been a rocky 4th inning for Bill Keane and company. Hit the shortstop. Should be an easy play for Sanchez. Plays the true hop. Doesn't have much of an arm, though. And they get him. I tell you, he does not have a great arm, and just got the throw over to Adam to beat Mendel, who got down the line quickly. However, big inning for the Rams. They score 3 runs. And in the middle of inning number 4, it's Gloucester Catholic 3 and the Bruins nothing. So Mike, did you have a regimented rehabilitation program in the spring?
Yeah, I would work out 4 times a week with weights, just lifting, straight leg raises and extensions, and then 2 or 3 days a week I just like ride a bike, keep my stamina up, and I could hit 2 times a week off our pitching coach Sammy Beal, who threw every day to me if I wanted.
You've had so much trouble, Mike, with your knees, both knees really, throughout your high school career and now your first year in college. Psychologically, how difficult is it to deal with the problem, knowing what you've been through, all the operations, everything else? Do you think about it when you're out there?
I don't really think about it as much. It's just that after it happens, you wonder when it's ever going to end. And probably half the problem is that I get hurt a lot of times, and then it's happened so often before I try to come back too quick. And in hindsight, it probably hurt me longer, in the long run, in that I probably had extra injuries because I rushed back after previous injuries before I wasn't really healed. Now, knowing that, I'm just taking this injury really slow because I would not want to ruin a possible college career by rushing back from this one.
I guess impatience in a situation like that is kind of a natural reaction, isn't it? Particularly when you're as competitive as you are and have played sports throughout your life. You want to get back in there really before sometimes you're ready, right? That's
true. I had an opportunity possibly if I had really pushed my workout schedule. I maybe could have played like the last 5-10 games. But there was a risk of possibly re-injuring myself, and it came down to the decision of whether I wanted to possibly play 5 or 10 games at the risk of re-injuring myself or just laying off and having a good next year, completely healed.
Mike Whalen leads it off for the Bruins, takes ball 1 from Allenby, who has been in control. He has only given up 2 base hits, 1 an infielder, and has set down 6 of the last 7 Bruin batters. Popped up. Secchia chasing it. He won't get there. The on-deck hitters seem to create a bit of a problem for Secchia. He stopped momentarily. Don't know if he could have gotten it anyway. Tough play right against the screen in front of the Bruin dugout.
He might have had a little problem with the sun on that play, too.
I understand Bob Revella is joining you at UVA next year with your other South Jersey friends. You have quite a contingent of South Jersey players down there.
That's true. Coach Dennis Womack of Virginia is very enthusiastic about getting Bob Revella. The day he signed, he came up to me and told me, "Oh, we got the one we wanted."
Secchia catches it on the fly. Whalen went with the pitch, hit a bullet down the first baseline, but a good job by Secchia catching it on the fly for the first out. Yeah, they're going to be calling UVA Brookline South one of these years. So if you play for that Winona team, you'll be playing for one of the elder statesmen of the South Jersey semi-pro managing profession. That's Harry Carter. He's quite a guy. You know Harry?
No, but I think my dad does because he has contacts with him. That's how I got on the team, probably.
Chris Casal had a base hit to left field his first time up. To strike, 1-1. Casal then was picked off first base by Allenby, 1 of 2 that Allenby has picked clean. High breaking ball, 2-1. To strike, good pitch by Allenby. Count level at 2-2 to Casal. Swing on it. Miss strike 3. Casal strikes out. Allenby really on a roll now, Mike. He's in a nice groove.
He's mixing up his pitches very well, keeping them off balance. It's really impressed me today. He didn't really pitch much at all last year, and haven't had an opportunity to see him pitch until today, and he's shown me he really can pitch.
Your dad said that his most impressive previous outing this season was a nice victory over Bishop Eustace. Swing and a miss as Adams is down in the count 0-1. Adams had an infield base hit to Secchi at first in the first inning that Allenby was late covering on. 2 outs. Foul tipped is held by McKinney, and Adams in the hole 0-2. Nice crowd on hand at Westville Babe Ruth Field. It's a little bit low. I guess chance for you to see some of your old school chums, Mike.
Yeah, it's nice coming back here and seeing everybody you haven't seen all year and talking and find out what's been going on.
Yeah, a special kind of the school spirit at Gloucester Catholic. I know you enjoyed that your 4 years. This one hit well to center field.
Way
Backing
back.
up is Kaufman. It'll stay in the park. He takes it easily for the 3rd out. So that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Allenby in the 4th. After 4 full innings, it's Gloucester Catholic 3 and Pius at 10-0. We'll be back. Bob Shryock and Mike Lindner, the other Mike Lindner, now back with me at Westville Babe Ruth League Field. And your son got the Rams 3 runs, Mike.
Well, that's the old magic, I guess, coming back.
0-1 to Tom DiTullio, the DH. Grounded out his first time up.
Well, talking to an old friend of yours during my break from the microphone, wanted to deliver a message. Ed Morrison, former councilman in Woodbury Heights, who wanted me to suggest, Bob, that they're tired of reading about your personal problems. Wanted to know if you've always been a failure. Read about the prom the last week and your former girlfriend running off to California, and your trip to the shore and losing in the casinos.
Foul ball to right field. Maybe not foul. Taken anyway by first baseman Mike Adam for the first out of the inning.
Can't break your streak at the casinos, huh?
Yeah, I stopped going. I got smart for a change. Bob Ravel had a leadoff base hit in the first inning, then grounded out in the 3rd. Bill Keene trying to settle back into a groove. He pitched well until the 4th. 3 base hits and 4 stolen bases in the inning, leading to 3 Ram runs. Hit sharply into left center field. Casal can't get it up against the fence.
And
Ravel bounces over. That'll be a ground rule double for Ravel. So Ravel with his 2nd base hit of the ball game.
Ravel having a good day today, and there was some question before the ball game whether or not, in fact, he would play. John Cupsey got a call last night from Al Rodano, the coach, indicating he'd probably go at shortstop today. Ravel hit by a ground ball yesterday and taken to the hospital for some observation. They did not expect to see him play today, and he's stroking the ball real well. Happens often, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Roberto Clemente used to agonize before games. I think he was on his deathbed, and he'd go out and get 4 base hits. Joe Falcone reached in a fielder's choice, doubled, and then scored the first Ram run in the 4th inning. Gets past the catcher. Ravel will easily get to 3rd base in the wild pitch by Keene. Chance for Falcone to drive in a run. Sanchez, the shortstop, pretty much back where he normally is. Now he moves in a step.
He ought to come in a little more than that with the arm he has.
Hit to the right side and through for a base hit by Falcone. Good job of hitting by Falcone. Ravel scores the 4th Ram run. Falcone has his 2nd hit, and it's a 4-0 Ram lead. And I would imagine we'll see Falcone try to steal a base.
Well, they've early on saw Irizarry with the difficulty throwing the second. We expected they would be running anytime they had anyone on base.
Keene thinks so.
Yeah.
McKinney has flied out twice, once to right, once to center. Top of the 5th inning, the Rams, after scoreless through the first 3, have scored 4 runs in the last 2 innings. Rams with 5 stolen bases so far, 4 of them in the 4th inning. Falcone had 1 back in the 1st. Pretty good lead by Falcone. Not going. Pitch out.
Pitch up and out.
He's going on this pitch.
Rich Horan, the third base coach, going through all kinds of signs.
He's running. Hit through to the left side for a base hit. On his way to third base is Falcone, and they should have him gun him down. Good throw by left fielder Ty to third baseman Adams on the play. McKinney goes to second base. Falcone was running all the way, but that took a true hop to Ty, and he really had an easy toss to third baseman Adams to gun down Falcone.
Not a good play by Falcone. He was looking at the play all the way as he was rounding second base, and he wasn't a step beyond the base when the ball was up into left fielder Ty's hands. He should not have kept coming. Got to be sure when it's hit to that side if you're going to try and make third.
2 outs. John Cupsey, the batter. John 1 for 2. Drove in the first Ram run with a single in the 4th, and then stole 2 bases and scored. Inside, ball 1.
Take a look here. There's the hit through, and you'll see the good hop up into Ty's hands. And plenty of time. They're just going to set themselves at third base, await that throw. Oh, as he did.
Hit the right field. Easy play for Marsden, the right fielder. And he takes it for the 3rd out. The Rams retired in the 5th inning, but they do add another run. Falcone with the RBI single after 4.5. Gloucester Catholic 4. The visitors from Piscataway, Pius the 10th, nothing.
Parochial B play this year, Bob, of course, featuring some of the familiar names in South Jersey baseball. St. James getting an opportunity to go against St. Joseph Hamilton. As we pointed out earlier, last year they drew Bishop Eustace in the opening game. Played pretty well, but went down to defeat to that outstanding Crusader team. Bishop Eustace, ranked number 3 in South Jersey by the Courier, with the bye, the number 1 seed. And, of course, Gloucester Catholic. It seems every year Gloucester Catholic has to get by St. Joseph Hamilton and Bishop Eustace. They've done that successfully the last 3 seasons. This year, their second game, given a victory here today, would be against the winner of St. James and St. Joe's. I'd love to see a St. James Gloucester Catholic matchup. We had that a couple of seasons ago.
St. James started off outstanding start this season and sort of slumped in mid-season.
Fred Prada doing a pretty good job there. Athletic director and baseball coach. Consider the size of that school. What are they, something like 350 students? They do a real good job in their athletic program. The Gibbstown area that provides so many of their players. Just a small town that has come up with so many fine athletes, particularly in baseball. One of the best, of course, a season ago, Kenny Villanova, made all South Jersey. St. James went on to a great first year at Gloucester County College. Working out all summer, Bob saw Kenny Villanova at 8:30 this morning hitting baseballs. Jim Sloan tossing to him as he tries to hit left-handed. Going to spend all summer trying to develop that. Of course, he is a natural left-hander who's spent his career batting from the right side. Going to try and turn around and see what he can do. It looks like he's got a natural swing.
You mean the switch hit or bat exclusively left-handed?
Oh, no, I'm sure he'd probably switch. Got too much power and hits for too high an average from the right side.
He not only had a great season statistically for Gloucester County College, he was the only member of the Roadrunner team to make first team All-Region 19 and first team All-Garden State Conference.
Well, we've got a switch for Gloucester Catholic. Joe Falcone now playing at second base in place of Mendel. And going to right field. We'll have to get a bead on that player out there so far away right now. I'm not sure if that's Gary Powers or not, who had been a outfielder. I don't believe it is, but injured his knee around 2 weeks ago.
1-0 to Dave Irizarry, who flied to center his only other time at bat. Cupsey on one hop. To Secchi, a good arm by Cupsey, easy out. Allenby has now retired 5 in a row.
That is Gary Powers out and right.
Allenby has not given up a base hit since Scott Adams' leadoff infield hit in the second inning.
Powers Bob will go into the lineup, batting in the number 8 spot for Mendel. Falcone moving from right field to second base.
Sean Tye, the batter. Sean popped up to first. Breaking ball for a strike. Allenby pitching a terrific game, giving up 2 base hits and 1 walk. Strike outside corner. Sean Tye in the hole 0-2.
And of course, picked off 2 of those 3 base runners.
Called strike 3. Good job by Allenby. Tye strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts for Allenby. $11 out of the last 12 retired by Allenby, and the Bruins, who came in with some very impressive individual offensive statistics, have been silenced by the left-handed offerings of Paul Allenby. John Maroon, who grounded out his first time at bat. 2 outs in the 5th. Outside corner, Allenby hitting the corners now, getting ahead of the batters.
Battery team here today, both going on the college careers starting next year. Allenby will enroll at Trenton State College.
Allenby with a good play. To Secchi for the out on Maroon. Another easy inning for Allenby. 3 up and 3 down for the second straight inning. End of 5 full. It's Gloucester Catholic 4. Pius the 10th nothing. We'll take a break. George Kaufman facing Bill King leading off the Rams 6th inning. Takes strike 1. Mike Lindner and Bob Shryock bringing the action on a warm, sunny, late May day. Just great for baseball and great for the Rams so far, trying to advance in the Parochial B tournament. Hit to right field for a base hit by Kaufman. Played on one hop by Marsden. Kaufman with his first base hit. And most of the Ram hits today, Mike, have been the opposite way.
Well, they're seeing a lot of breaking balls, and they finally started waiting on it and going with the pitch. That time, of course, Kaufman hit the fastball. That was, I think, the first fastball that George has seen all day. Well, 4 runs. They could use another one. What do you think? Secchi taking a long look, possible bunt situation? I think I'd just run Kaufman.
Yeah, I'd just run him. Absolutely. Yep. First pitch.
Quickest Ram out there. There he goes.
There he goes, first pitch.
Great jump.
Taking all the way. Low throw by Irizarry. Easy steal by Kaufman. That is 6 stolen bases by the Rams, 4 of them in the 4th inning. And Dave Irizarry having some problems when the Rams get on base. Secchi has popped up and walked. He scored a run in the 4th inning.
He's going to measure one here. I got a feeling. It was right on it. Just missed it.
He looks like he can hit the ball a long way.
Yeah, Mike's got some power. Probably going on to University of Charleston next year. Plans not finalized. McKinney, we were talking about him at the end of last inning. The catcher going to go on to Kentucky Wesleyan on a scholarship next season.
Pickoff try. Kaufman read it all the way as Whalen, the second baseman, came in behind him. Rams lead at 4-0, trying for some insurance here in the 6th inning. Good breaking ball for a strike. Keene was in control of that pitch throughout the first 3 innings. Then the Rams began to tag him a little bit in the 4th and started running the bases and converted hits and steals into 3 runs. Running is Kaufman. Popped straight back and out of play. Kaufman had a big jump.
Gloucester Catholic attempts the steal of third base more than any high school baseball team I think I've ever seen. Draws all kinds of gasps from so-called knowledgeable fans in the stands, and yet get away with it nearly every time.
Kaufman had a big jump that time. He might have gotten the bag. Secchi hits it to center field, hits it pretty well, but Casal with an easy play now comes in a step, makes the catch, and Kaufman not going anywhere. That's 1 out. That'll bring to the plate Dave Haynes, who had the big blow in the 4th inning, a 2-out, 2-run single. Plated the 2nd and 3rd runs. Haynes then stole 2 bases. One on, 1 out for the Rams in the top of inning number 6. They lead it 4-0. First round action in the Parochial B tournament. The Rams defending champions. Bishop Eustace with the only bye in Parochial B this year. Number 3 ranked team in South Jersey. It's high. Foul down the third baseline by Haynes. Almost a cloudless day. A couple of clouds hanging around. Tough sun field. Again, running on the play is Kaufman. High throw, but not in time as Kaufman slides in. Mike just talking about those steals of third. So Kaufman, after the leadoff single, has now stolen 2nd and 3rd. 7 stolen bases for the Rams today, and Kaufman perched on 3rd base now. A chance for Haynes to get in another run. Let's see if the Bruins bring the infield in. I'm a little surprised, Mike. The shortstop staying back. Second baseman staying back, maybe in a step, maybe.
Well, second baseman's up now, but that shortstop Sanchez with that weak throwing arm will not have an opportunity to get anyone at the plate where he's playing. I don't care how hard the ball's hit.
It's a strike.
Take a look at Kaufman sneaking in at 3rd base. Good break and a great start. He's under the tag. Nearly lost the bag there, though. It could have been disastrous and been an out.
Bounced over 3rd baseman Adams, head for a base hit. Kaufman scores, and Dave Haynes has been the big RBI man in the clutch today. That's 3 runs batted in for Haynes. The Rams lead at 5-0. The stolen bases by Kaufman setting up that run. Second hit of the game for Haynes. And Gary Powers will bat. Powers, of course, entered the game. Mendel replaced by Falcone at 2nd. This is going to be a tough play. Adams, fielded by the pitcher. There's a mistake. Off the first baseman's glove, heading to 3rd is Haynes. He'll get there, and that was a mistake by pitcher Bill Keene. Did not let Adams field the ball. He obviously had the better opportunity to throw out Powers.
Well, that was the one thing you probably would hope not to have seen Powers do. I mean, he gets the hit, and they're happy about that, but I told you that he strained some ligaments in the knee a couple of weeks ago, and that's why he hadn't been seeing action after being a 3-year starter. And with that slow hit ball, he really had to hustle down that line. And I think what happened is pitcher Keene looked and saw he wasn't there yet and took a shot at getting him. Of course, it puts Haynes at 3rd and probably Powers stealing. Let's see if they run him anyway. Now,
not on the first pitch. This one hit well to left center field. caught on the run nicely by Marsden. Tagging on the play is Haynes. He's going to score standing up on the sacrifice fly to left by DeTulio. 6-0 Rams. So the bottom of the order doing some damage for the Rams today. Haynes has driven in 3 runs. Now DeTulio, the number 9 hole hitter, with a sacrifice fly. And the Rams lead at 6-0. Bob Ravel, the batter, with Powers on first base and 2 outs. Inside corner, Ravel has 2 hits, single in the first, double in the 5th. Now they're going to send a pinch runner down for Powers. It's going to be Nichols. Not going to risk any further damage to Powers' leg. Rams with 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 so far in the 6th. Big lead by Nichols, the pinch runner. And we'll see if they send him. They've already got 7 steals. Good time to do it. Even if he gets thrown out, you've got Ravel leading off the next inning. Not running, it's low. Ball and a strike.
Going to seem awfully strange next year not seeing Bobby Ravel at shortstop for the Rams. Every game for 4 years.
Good stop by Irizarry. 2-1 to Ravel.
Count up the number of big baseball games he's been in. 3 times in state championship games. A possibility again this year if they continue. Plus all the Legion ball.
Easy play in right field by Marsden. And he takes it for the 3rd out. So Ravel retired, but the Rams put 2 more runs on the board in inning number 6 after 5 1/2. It's Gloucester Catholic 6, Pius X from Piscataway, nothing.
Bob Ravel started, as we say, 4 years here. This will be his 4th season starting for the Brooklawn Legion team. Figure out the number of ball games there, Bob, with the Legion team playing around 70 a season. That's what, 280? 25 the high school level. That's 380 ball games in 4 years on 2 outstanding baseball clubs. I guess that's what you call experience. And I'm sure Dennis Womack, one of your guests on the Bob Shryock show early this year in January, in fact, had to take that in consideration when he offered that scholarship to that young man.
One of those players it seems like we've been watching forever on Channel 5. Great career.
He has really been getting battered this last season also. I think he's had 4 times that he's been hit nearly disastrous by ground balls. Still comes back with the bruises all over his body and gets back out in that familiar spot. Well, we've got a change at first base for the Rams. Steve Doyle now playing at first. Falcone still at second, Ravel at short, Cupsey at third. Haynes, Kaufman, and now we've got a change in right field. I believe, or is that Powers back in again? It couldn't be, can it? He did not start the game. George Allen in right field now.
Allenby facing Pedro Sanchez, leading off the Bruins 6th inning. Pedro struck out in his only at bat. This one hit up in the air. Left fielder Haynes making the call and making the catch. Allenby's got himself quite a streak going now. He's retired since Scott Adams' infield single leading off the 2nd inning. Allenby is retired 13 in a row. There was a walk in there to designated hitter Weller, but he was picked off first base. So actually he has retired the last 13 straight, although was one base runner. Now Weller, the batter, he has walked in his only appearance. Takes ball 1. Allenby making it look easy, Mike.
Well, I told you about that one game he pitched with Bishop Eustace, against Bishop Eustace, which was an outstanding effort. This pretty much mirrors that. I don't think Pius X nearly the team that Eustace is, obviously. Eustace having one of those dream seasons again with just 3 losses. Sitting waiting for the conclusion of the opening round to find out who they're going to play. Allenby had a great day that day. I think he was a little more overpowering with the fastball against the Crusaders. Doesn't show the great velocity here today. But he's been right on the plate. That's what counts when you're pitching. Don't hurt yourself with the walks.
McKinney and Allenby with a conversation.
Looked on Allenby's face. Kyle was telling him a joke.
1-2 count to Ron Weller. 1 out in the Bruins' 6th.
And McKinney's seen a lot of action wearing the Rams uniform, a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, baseball.
Just missing. 2-2 to Weller. Hit sharply and knocked down by shortstop Ravel, but no chance, of course, to throw out Weller. Weller hit it well and gets a what'll be considered an infield base hit. Only the 3rd hit given up by Allenby, and the first since Scott Adams had an infield hit to lead off the 2nd inning. Hit it well. So Weller, the number 9 hole hitter, has caused the most problems today for Allenby. He's only been on twice.
See if he learned anything that last time when he was picked off.
Mike Adams is 0 for 2. Ground ball out and a strikeout. Yeah, Weller was picked off by about 3 steps last time. Doesn't have as big a lead this time. It's a ball.
Oh, he didn't have the great lead the last time. You remember, we were talking about it between innings, but he was so totally fooled by Allenby's move.
Slow breaking ball hit sharply for a base hit by Adam down in the left field corner. Haynes digging it out. Weller on his way to third base. They'll hold him there on a double by Mike Adams. So the Bruins with a bit of a threat here in the 6th inning. Adam did a good job of laying on that slow breaking ball.
He waited perfectly that time. Got everything when you pull it. Slow curve that far down into the corner. Haynes had a real long run. They've been playing everybody shaded towards the right side because of Allenby's pitches, and Haynes got up with it in time to save a run from scoring. Rams will obviously play back.
Mike Whalen is 0 for 2. Ram infield stays back. They'll concede a run for an out. Allenby with a full wind-up. Hit foul to right field.
You wonder what the psychology of a St. Pius X team is, taking a long ride down from Piscataway after that disastrous game last season. Wonder what's in their mind. They, of course, knowing they're going against the defending state champs over the last couple of seasons and knowing how they were handled so easily. That must have been a tough ride.
But then pitcher Keene did such a good job in the first 3 innings keeping him in the ball game that they right in there. This one dribbled to the right side. And just beating Whalen to the bag is Steve Doyle, the new first baseman. So Whalen is out, but he gets an RBI as Weller scores in the play. It's 6-1. Adam moving to third. 2 outs. So Allenby loses his shutout, but still very much in control, 6-1. Chris Casal, 1 for 2, base hit in the first inning. It's a strike as Casal goes down. Dribble down the first baseline. Easy play for Doyle. He retires Casal. And the Bruins in the 6th inning. They score a run, however, to break the Allenby shutout bid after 6 full innings. Gloucester Catholic 6, Pius X 1. Shryock and Mike Lindner from Westville. Cleanly played game, only one error by Pius the 10th. Falcone first pitch hitting. Who has it? Pitcher Keene makes the call, and he makes the catch for the first out. Falcone had 2 base hits before that pop up to the pitcher. Don't usually see the pitcher handle that kind of play, but nobody else called, so Keene says, I'll take it, and he did. Keene has pitched a pretty good ball game, Mike. Give up 6 runs. It doesn't sound like you've done that well, but really, stolen bases have hurt him a lot. And he pitched very well the first 3 innings.
And so frequently your steals will be on the pitcher and his windup. That hasn't really been the case here. The Rams have been running on the non-arm of catcher, Irizarry.
Sharply, good play by second baseman Whalen. Gets it over to Adam for the out on McKinney. So 2 quick outs for the Rams in the 7th inning. And the batter, John Cupsey. Cupsey 1 for 3 on the day. He has what could prove to be the game-winning RBI, a base hit in the 4th inning. Then he stole 2 bases and scored the second Ram run. Breaking ball, good pitch in the inside corner by Keene for a strike. Rapidly played game at Westville Babe Ruth League. I know I shouldn't have said that, should I, Mike? Hit sharply. This one knocked down by Whalen and still gets him. Good recovery by Whalen, good play by Adam at first. And the Rams quickly retired in the 7th inning. Middle of inning number 7, the Bruins from Piscataway up for their final at bat, trail at 6-1. I remember some games here, Mike, that we have televised that have been some of the longest baseball games in the history of mankind.
I remember the Bishop Eustace game of what, last season? No, 2 seasons ago. Perhaps there was one last year too that went on till around 10 after 7, starting at 3:30 in the afternoon. That was a classic. Wound up, I believe, 13-11. Eustace getting the victory there.
They never play a normal game, do they?
It doesn't seem that way. And then they met for the South Jersey Championship in a game played at Eastern that went on close to 7:30 in the evening. And the Rams, once again, knocked Eustace out of the state competition with a maybe 14-12 victory, I believe it was, something of that nature. We'll take a look at how Whalen was able to stay down on this ball that could have been easily an error and gotten a base runner for. And then we'll watch as Cupsey comes down the line and finally locating it, throwing it over. And watch Cupsey really goes into the first baseman here. Bang, he just must have tripped or something. John Cupsey surely wouldn't have gone after
Good heavens.
First baseman Adam, would he?
Channel 5 camera sees all.
It's that Gibbstown move.
Mike Lindner said that. Scott Adams leading off for the Bruins in the 7th inning. Adams is 1 for 2. Allenby trying to nail it down for the Rams. Ball 1 to Adams. I do remember one low-scoring Eustace Ram game. I think it was a 1-0
Yes.
Vespi Kavulich battle. Tough play off the bag, then off the hand of Doyle. That's going to be a base hit. Ball gets past the backup man, but that's going to be a base hit. A funny little hopper off the bag that Doyle lost off his hand, and Adams is going to have his second infield hit to first base. So the Bruins, with a bit of life here in their final at bat, down by 5 runs, can use some more base runners, and Dave Azari, the batter. Dave is 0 for 2. Big lead by Adams. He better watch it.
There's no reason for that at this point in the ball game. That would be horrendous to be picked off here.
Well, we've seen some strange things on Channel 5 baseball games this spring. Inside, ball 1 to Irizarry. It's high, 2-0. Well, if Irizarry gets on and one more base runner gets on, they would bring the tying run to the plate, believe it or not. Allenby with that big leg move to first base. Ball 3. Irizarry will look at a pitch or two. That's a strike. 3-1. Three and 1 to Irizarry. Hit well to left center field by Irizarry. Nobody's going to get there. Bounces against the fence. On his way to third base is Adams. They're going to hold him there. Oh, unbelievable. They get Irizarry at second base trying to stretch it into a double. It looked like it should have been an easy double up against the fence. Falcone.
To Ravel. Oh, well, from Ravel and from Haynes.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. There's no way that Irizarry should get thrown out there. That's the first out, so that could mess up what a potential big inning for the Bruins. Irizarry will be credited with a single, then is thrown out at second base. Adams goes to third in the play. Irizarry not exactly a speed burner. That ball hit sharply, one bounce against the fence, but he was thrown out easily.
That was the experience of Bobby Ravel at shortstop. A lot of shortstops wouldn't even bother looking. He looked and saw, oh my goodness, there's no way. Here he comes down there and I'm going to get him. Here's the hit. He really stroked it. It was hit so well that it allowed Haynes to get to it quickly.
Fouled back by Sean Ty.
Oh, it's Kaufman that picks it up. Kaufman with the great arm. There's Ravel. Look at him look. He looks over as the runner gets to third, gets the ball back in there to Falcone. It comes up with a good tag.
One out in the Pius the 10th, 7th inning. So Adams on third base. They'll keep the infield back and concede another run here. Big play at second base. Good stop by McKinney. 1-2 count to Sean Ty. The Bruins have really hurt themselves on the base paths today. They've had two runners picked off by Allenby at first base. Now Irizarry trying to stretch a single into a double is thrown out in the 7th. Ill-timed to say the least. Inside to Ty, 2-2. Full count. Ty is 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Big pitch coming for Allenby here. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, big strikeout for Allenby. That is number 5 on the day. 2 down. And John Maroon, the last bit of hope for the Bruins. John has grounded out twice.
Allenby loved to finish it with another strikeout. It would really cap off this opening round playoff game. Important for this senior pitcher with so little experience before this season to get a victory early in the playoffs.
Kenny loses it. Heading home is Adams. And he'll slide in. A bit of a risk there, considering he would have represented the last out of the ball game, but it got past McKinney. Kyle couldn't locate it, and Adams hustled home. So that's 6-2.
If McKinney had seen that ball right away, the wild pitch off to the right, he turned the other way. But if he had seen it with the cautious move of Adams, understandably so, at third base, I think they could have had him at home.
2 outs, a run in for the Bruins. They trail at 6-2. Fouled back. 1-1 count to Maroon. Allenby has given up only 6 hits, 4 of them in the last 2 innings. Allenby falls down while delivering ball 2 to Maroon. And may have slightly injured himself. McKinney goes out to see how he is.
Well, that was a pitch of about the first time that he shook McKinney off at all. He wanted to throw that fastball and really came with more than he's thrown all day velocity-wise, trying to end up in fancy style, and really, I think, had a different stride, Bob, and as a result tripped up out there on the mound.
2-1 to Maroon. Hit behind second base, could be trouble, and falls for a base hit in front of right fielder Allen. So Maroon keeps it alive for the Bruins, a 2-out single to right field.
We all forget the play at second base when Irizarry was thrown out. Could very possibly be 2 runs in now with but 1 out and a runner at first, be a 6-3 ball game.
Pedro Sanchez, the batter. Pedro 0 for 2, strikeout on a fly ball to left.
Good, strong base running by Gloucester Catholic today, and very weak base running by Pius X.
Allen playing behind the runner at first with 2 outs. And ball 1 to Sanchez. Excuse me, that's Steve Doyle at first base. Missing outside, 2-0.
Paul Allenby really laboring right now, trying to get this final out, get this game over with. Hardest out to get, huh, for a pitcher? That last one in the ballgame.
To strike, 2-1. Sanchez taking all the way.
They just want to get it over with, get into the locker room, get the victory recorded, move on to the next game.
Hit to left field and falls for a base hit in front of Haynes. So the Bruins keep pecking away. Mike just mentioned the big play at second base with Irizarry getting cut down. That's the 4th hit of the inning, but they've only gotten 1 run out of it, so you can see how important that play at second was. They would now have the tying run to the plate, Mike. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there would be but the 1 out.
Ron Weller has been a pesky number 9 hitter for Allenby today. A walk and a single. He also scored the first run. 2 on, 2 out, a 6-2 ball game. But if Weller can get on base, then the Bruins still would bring the tying run to the plate. So Allenby laboring here in the 7th inning.
We want to make a change on that call again in center field to throw out at second base. That was Gary Powers who's playing in, or George Allen's who moved to center field now because Kaufman is out of the ball game. In fact, is warming up down on the third base side in case Allenby can't get out of this jam.
Swing and a miss by Weller, 0-1. McKinney with a snap throw to second. Woo. Boy, Maroon almost got picked off second.
Yeah, a little better throw if the ball is up. Ravel's going to have that tag on him.
The Bruins are really doing some strange base running.
That would have been the way to end it, wouldn't it? Would have capped off a disastrous day on the base paths.
1-1 to Weller. Foul to right. So another right fielder, Mike?
Yeah, Grekowitz out there now getting a chance. That's when Allen moved over to center field in place of Kaufman.
Well, they've had everybody play right field today except Fred Buchter. Popped foul back over our heads. Weller hanging tough against Allenby.
Fred who?
A new left fielder, too.
Greer Wolf is out.
Certainly are picking up all these changes from the Ram scores.
Look at
What
this.
is this?
Oh, I can't believe it.
What in the world is that? The final out is made at third base as Maroon is thrown out by 10 feet in one of the most strange endings you're ever going to see. It was like the Bruins wanted to get it over with. And they did. The Rams win it 6-2 and advance to the semifinals in the Parochial B tournament. We'll come back and wrap this one up after this.
Well, it was a disastrous day on the base paths for St. Pius X today. They had 2 players picked off. They had a player thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. And then in the strangest play of all, perhaps one of the strangest ones we've seen in a number of years, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, they attempt a double steal. And Kyle McKinney is alert enough, even though he's saying, what in the world has gone on, to throw to John Cupsey and get the final man out at third base by what amounts to about 10.5 feet. There it is. That'll end the ball game. And Gloucester Catholic, Bob, has started a successful tour of duty trying to get back to defend that state championship that they've won the last couple of years, winning today 6-2 over Pius X, a team they defeated last year. I guess Pius X feels a little better. The score last year 22-2. But Paul Allenby had things under control today, coming up with his 5th victory of the year. And of course Dave Haynes, the offensive star of the game for the Rams.
Haynes drove in 2 runs. Actually, the game-winning RBI, Mike, was by John Cupsey back in the 4th inning, but the big hit with 2 outs was the Haynes 2-run single. That made it 3-0, and the Rams, of course, never looked back. Allenby pitched a fine game, really thoroughly in control the first 5 innings, giving up only 2 hits over that stretch. Then in the 6th and the 7th, the Bruins got to him a little bit, and you talked about all those base-running gaffes that the Bruins made. In the last inning, the only out recorded by the Rams was the strikeout by Allenby, other than the 2 runners being thrown off the base path. So 2 of the 4 serious mistakes that they made came in the 7th inning. Arizari getting thrown out at second on trying to stretch the single to a double, and then one of the strangest endings I've ever seen, a double steal in that situation, is really pretty hard to even describe. But a nice win for the Rams as they get off to a good start. Allenby really in control all the way.
Pius X finishes at 513-13 on the season. The Rams picking up their 18th victory, and they won, of course, 3 more, Bob, to come up with that state championship. They await now the winner of St. James and St. Joe's of Hamilton to find out who they face in the 2nd round of the playoffs. Once again, the final score, Gloucester Catholic 6, Pius X 2. Now for Bob Shryock and Channel 5, I'm Mike Lindner. Thanks for joining us today. We'll look for you next time.